Adam here from the Walser Automotive Group, and today what we want to do is compare a couple of SUVs. Now next to me here is the Subaru Outback, and what we're going to do is compare that to the Honda Passport. So we're going to cover some exterior things, some cool stuff inside, and see which one might be best for you. So the Subaru Outback has been around for a long time now, and it's a name that we've all come to love because of what it does. The Subaru Outback screams outdoors, whether you're doing family activities, going to the cabin for the weekend, or you just need a great fuel-efficient vehicle, the Subaru Outback delivers on many fronts. Now this is our Touring XT. XT is going to give you the turbocharged engine, which still provides 29 miles per gallon on the highway. This is going to be a symmetrical all-wheel drive system. Now what that means is it's always going to be all-wheel drive. So in the Minnesota winters, you are going to have that sure-footedness, or if you find yourself on a trail going to a campsite, it is going to be a great option for that. So now what's great about the Subaru Outback is this is going to be a 5-passenger vehicle. There is the Ascent, which will give you the 7-passenger if you need a little bit more space, but the Outback's kind of that tried and true, get it all done sort of vehicle. You've got roof racks up above where you can run the cross rails, so if you want to throw bikes, throw your kayak up there, you get a ton of cargo space inside. So there is a ton of great equipment inside the Subaru Outback Touring, but let's take a look at the exterior on that Honda Passport before we dive inside this one. Okay, so looking at the exterior on the Honda Passport, again, this is the TrailSport edition, so this is their newest one to the lineup. It's kind of got that overland off-road feel, and it looks really cool. It adds a bunch of black accents to the exterior. This one also has some of the HPD upgrades, so that's going to be like the decal pack you'll notice on here, and a few other cool things you can add in. Now these 18-inch wheels with the Firestone tires on there definitely give it kind of that meteor off-road look to it, and I love the color. It's awesome out here in the sunlight. It just really sets off this vehicle nicely. So now where this one does also have the roof rack with those cross rails, it's a lot higher, I've noticed, than the Subaru Outback. So if you're using that a lot, throwing bikes up there or the kayak, there is kind of a step in the back seat where you're able to boost yourself up, but it is just a little bit more difficult to get to. Now a few other things, this one does have a 9-speed automatic transmission with the all-wheel drive, where the Subaru had that CVT. So it's kind of one continuous drive, where this is more of the standard 9-speed, but out on the road they're both very smooth, and this one can kind of help with that all-wheel drive system to not quite get to 29, it's rated closer to 24 miles per gallon on the highway, so it is a little bit of an offset there, but it is a larger vehicle with a little more space inside. So let's hop over back to the Subaru Outback and check out the interior on that vehicle. Okay, so now we're inside the Touring, and again, this is a great vehicle. There's a ton of equipment in here. You can spend hours going through it all, but we'll just try and give you a brief overview. Now, you've got the cell phone on me, everyone always does, but one of the coolest things, there's wireless charging right here. And now for 2024, this is gonna be a little bit different as they changed it in the last couple of years, but you are gonna have wireless Apple CarPlay as well as Android Auto. This one is gonna have your ventilated seats and your heated seat button found right here on the display. Now this one does have the navigation built in. Like I mentioned, if you're not using that wireless Apple CarPlay, there's a bunch of cool apps. You've got all your My Subaru stuff, so you can see where you're scheduling your service appointments. This also does have a remote start that you can pair through the app on your phone, which is pretty cool, and a ton of other stuff in that infotainment. So the seats, these are going to be real Nappa leather. Now there's the StarTex in some of the models, but the Nappa leather is super comfortable. There's a little slide on the bottom of the driver's seat here. You also are going to have lumbar support, so if you are doing a long road trip, this is going to be a great vehicle for that. The steering wheel, there's a lot on the steering wheel. It's a little busy, but it's all good stuff. It is a heated steering wheel. It's going to have your adaptive cruise control. There's a driver mitigation or driver monitoring system, so you'll see this little bar here. That's going to make sure you are paying attention and you're safe when you're on the road. Not to mention things like blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert, pedestrian warnings. There's all this cool equipment to make sure you and your family are safe when you're on the road. Now, one thing, this is just gonna have the standard sunroof. There isn't a panoramic sunroof in this one. So overall, great fuel economy, tons of creature comforts, whether it's up here, the second row, those are gonna be heated seats as well. It just does everything right. I love the drive and ride of this vehicle, but let's hop over to that Passport and we'll check out that interior. Okay, so now we're inside the Passport. Again, phone. I always got it with you, gotta keep it charged up. This one also has wireless charging. It is a little easier to get the phone into this one, and I like this layout a little bit better. Plus, you've also got your USB and then a 12-volt down here with a little extra storage. Now, this one has the armrest for both the driver and the passenger. And these seats, I don't want to say this is a bad thing, but it kind of feels like an old boot. It just fits nicely, it's comfortable, it's a place where you could definitely put in some miles, and I love the orange stitching that comes on the TrailSport, and it also says it right here at the headrest. So for the infotainment screen, this one is going to be very quick in comparison to the old Honda infotainments. Now this is the 23 model, it's very responsive. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, the backup camera is going to be pretty good in this vehicle as well. A few other things I noticed. So the steering wheel, the instrument cluster, the whole thing, it's not quite up to par with the Outback. That one feels a little more into the future, where this one feels a little outdated. It's a smaller screen, so it's not as distracting and it doesn't draw all that attention away, and it just works. There's navigation, you can pair your phone like I said, and it just makes it easy and simple to use. There's also voice control over here, so you can also ask it to do things so you're focused ahead on the road. Blind spot monitoring, adaptive cruise control, there's a lane keep assist in here. You're gonna have all the equipment you come to expect out of a brand new vehicle. And I mean, overall, this just seems to work. There's a huge center console here. I like this more than the Subaru where they've gone to the drive-by-wire. So it's just buttons. So you don't have the big shifter here. It does free up a lot of space and kind of opens it up. The back seats are comfortable as well. They slide, they fold down. There's little levers in the back, same as a Subaru. So it does make it easy just to flip them forward. Standard sunroof in this one. And overall, this feels more, I know there's a Subaru Wilderness Outback as well, but this feels more like an off-road vehicle. It's a little more utilitarian. The Subaru Outback provides a little more luxury, a little more upscale. And yes, there is different models of this one as well. But for what you have, this just seems to make it simple, right? There's an air conditioning button. You've got your standard kind of more radio stuff. You just put it in drive and go. And it's a Honda. It's gonna run, it's gonna last, it's got that reliability behind it. So each in their own way are gonna have great equipment, whether it's safety equipment, whether it's reliability, whether it's the infotainment systems in here. Each one has its benefits, and I mean, it really kind of breaks down to what you're looking for. This one feels like throw the kids in and go. The Subaru Outback feels a little more upscale, I would say, than this one, but you know this one, you could put 200,000 miles on it, change the oil, and just drive it, right? That's what Honda was built on, and that's what I love about this Passport. So overall, comparing the two, now we've looked at the Passport, we're back in the Subaru Outback. Tons of equipment in both vehicles that's really going to be, whether it's for safety or for comfort. This one rides a little bit lower and kind of seems more like a car drive than an SUV, where the Passport does sit up a little higher. It gives you a little bit kind of slower, not sluggish feel on the road, but it's just a little bit different of a style. I like the exterior styling on both. Maybe if you're into that overlanding or camping, either one can fit the bill for you. This one's going to have a little bit more equipment as far as luxury is involved to me. And with Honda, you know the namesake, it's gonna be a reliable vehicle and it's gonna do what you want it to do. Okay, so that was just a brief comparison between the Outback and the Passport. Now, if you want more information, you can visit us online at walser.com. Stop by any one of our locations and we'll be happy to help you out. Thanks for watching.